Hello my loves, welcome back to Burning Times Tarot. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be on messages from Venus retrograde. So as I said in my Mercury retrograde video, I actually did a Venus retrograde one last week, but even though it was good, something just didn't feel right, so I scrapped it. So we're doing a new one, right? So Venus is retrograde until the 29th of January, at which time it will go direct. So yeah, still a bit of time, still a bit of transiting to do. So yeah, I have been getting messages that I need, so I don't usually do this, but I got a very strong message that for the retrograde readings, I'm doing upright cards only. So that's what I'm doing. And I also was told stick with right or wait for January. So that's what I'm doing. And also that I need to start doing my own spreads, which I hadn't done in a while. So I made one for Venus retrograde, and which I will be applying for any retrograde readings until I feel like maybe it's time to do something else. So it's a 5-card spread, and it is basically, see, I'm used to doing intuitively, so pardon me if I have to refer back to my notebook, but so the first card will be the current energy, second will be where is the tension or conflict coming up during the retrograde, 3 is what needs to be released, 4 is what is the lesson being learned for the retrograde, and then 5 is what is the outcome if that lesson is successfully integrated by yourself. So, source, can you please get messages for the Burning Times Tarot for family from Venus retrograde, January 2022. So, one card please, what is the current energy? One card. You gotta get firm with spirit sometimes. One card, please. Yeah. Oh. No, it's all like, oh yeah? One card, please. What is the current energy during Venus retrograde? Okay, we're not doing reversals right now. So, 8 of Cups. And where is the tension or conflict during what needs to be released during Venus retrograde, source? Alright. What needs to be released during Venus retrograde? Okay, that's weird. This card came up in the exact same position for Mercury retrograde, so interesting. Source, one card, what is the lesson learned during Venus retrograde? Queen of Swords. And source, can you have one card, what will be the outcome if the lesson is integrated? Integrated. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so number 1, current energy, 8 of Cups. So now Venus is obviously the goddess of love and sex and beauty and art. You know, it governs our relationships, but it's our, you know, not just our relationships with other people, it's our relationship with ourselves, with source, with money, with abundance, with our career, with our purpose, yeah, with pretty much anything. So, for some of you, there is a situation that you're either you have just walked away from, are currently in the process of walking away from, or are thinking about walking away from. So, you know, again, take it as it resonates. This is a general reading, but yeah, some of you are really like reflecting on either the past of this relationship, or maybe really like looking back on, you know, and this could be a romantic relationship, this could be a job, or a friendship, it could be a lot of different things, right? So again, take it as it resonates, but I really get the strong sense that a lot of you, you're not just reflecting on what brought you to this point, but you're also maybe really like seeing it in the context of like past situations as well as a whole, and maybe looking back and seeing things in a way that you really have never seen them before, or like just getting this different perspective on maybe like certain patterns in your life when it comes to either work or love or friendships, whatever it may be for you. But I really get the sense that you're taking like a much, do you hear that? That's so loud. Sorry. Yeah, it's a pipe. Okay. So yeah, I really get the sense that some of you are, you know, because, and in this card, right, they're walking away from these empty cups, and they're following the water, right? They're going back into, not into the earth, but like they're traveling, they're following the water. They have the moon over them. So again, and we'll get to Two of Swords in a minute, but you know, they're following their intuition. They're going within. They're going, you know, it's painful, but they're going within to heal, because the next card after the Eight of Cups is the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, right? And so you can't get to the Nine of Cups until you leave behind what doesn't serve you, until you face your fears, and until you go within, right? So then, speaking of going within, right, I said we have the moon in 3 out of these 5 cards. So this is really telling me, like, for some of you, you really have been doing some inner work, or maybe you're avoiding doing some inner work, but you are most definitely being called out a little bit by his source, but you are being called to, you know, start focusing, start like going within more, start doing some healing, and at least, you know, this isn't like what the fuck is wrong with you, why aren't you healed yet? It's not that at all, but it's you're being called to start working on it in whatever way feels appropriate for you. It's a process. It's not, you're not going to have every answer at once, and that's fine. It's not going to be this instantaneous thing, and healing can be found down many, many different avenues. So it's really up to you to just maybe start exploring, start Googling stuff. I mean, YouTube is handy as shit for that kind of stuff. Even Instagram can, you know, there's tons of accounts. The Holistic Psychologist, that is a really good page. So for those of you who are maybe interested, no affiliation whatsoever, it's just, I think they have a lot of really good stuff that can maybe help point people in the right direction if they're maybe trying to figure out like what way they want to go. But the moon, you know, so this is like, where's the conflict or tension coming up during this retrograde? And the moon is what is hidden. It's the unconscious. It's secrets from the past. It is maybe things that are unresolved. And so, again, this conflict is like you have been reevaluating, and you might be seeing, as I said, like getting a new perspective on things, maybe seeing things in a different light than you have previously. I'm hearing for some of you really realizing where maybe your perceptions have been way off just because of maybe where you or at in your own life, in your own kind of growth. And again, you see this path, right? You see the path that leads out of the water and up into these hills, right? So again, it's like that need to go within. And the moon is the Pisces card, so some of you might be water signs or have water highly aspected. So that is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But yeah, some of you are really, the conflict is really reckoning with this new perspective, and also the conflict between, you know, wanting to do some of that inner work and also the fear of what that inner work is going to bring up, or the fear of like, how am I going to change? How is my life potentially going to change if I do this? Because yes, it can be disruptive. It most likely will be, because if you've been living your life out of a place that is, you know, misaligned or unaligned, then yeah, getting realigned, it is going to disrupt things. But as I said, you know, everything you want is on the other side of fear. So 3 is what needs to be released. And this, as I said, exact same card, exact same position as the Mercury spread. So, and as I said there, you know, it is about a choice. It is about, for some of you, it could be a sense of stagnation, although, you know, this card to me is generally positive. There is like a balance and homeostasis there, but it cannot persist forever, right? At some point, they have to take the blindfold off. They have to put the swords down. So but the reason that they're blindfolded, as I said in the Mercury spread, is this is willing, right? They've blindfolded themselves. It's not like the 8 of Swords. You have the moon, and then you have the yellow shoes as well, sort of echoing the moon. So it's like they're, you know, and yellow is positivity, it's positive change. And it is that like echo of the sun. So they're really looking within, and they're staying neutral. Like the rest of them is all gray, right? So they're really going within, and they're really looking within themselves to figure out like how to proceed. So again, like the release is, you need to release like whatever you're conflicted about, whatever choice you are like afraid to make or putting off, that needs to be released. And then 4 is, what is the lesson learned during this Mercury retrograde? And we have the Queen of Swords, which is beautiful, because the Queen of Swords can get a bad rap sometimes, right? But upright, the Queen of Swords is, you know, in the lower vibration, the Queen of Swords can be very cold, very cutting, very like emotionless. But upright, I mean, the crown is made out of butterflies, right? There's butterflies on the throne. There's the cherub, the crescent moons. The cape is clouds, which is reflecting their surroundings, right? So the Queen is a survivor. The Queen of Swords is a survivor. The Queen of Swords is loving, is open. Her hand is outstretched, right? One hand has a sword, the other one is outstretched. So it's boundaries. It's boundaries. It's knowing your own worth. It is loving yourself enough to say, yes, I am loving, I am open, but I still protect and hold my own boundaries. I still know what I will and will not tolerate or accept. I know what I do and don't want in my own life, in my own sphere, right? So once you release this indecision, then, and it's clarity. Swords are clarity, right? It is freedom from like this worry, this turmoil, this like back and forth, which is beautiful. And then what is the outcome if this lesson is integrated properly once Venus goes direct? And we have the Four of Wands, which is absolutely beautiful, right? So Four of Wands is happiness. It is, you know, a happy home, but it could be a happy job. It can be happy friendships, because it is community. It is, yes, it is love. For some it can indicate marriage or a new relationship, a stable relationship. And of course, today is 111. It's a Venus reading, so I have to mention, like, this is a twin flame card, right? It's 1111, literally, like the Four Wands. So for some of you, it could be that you're, all of this is like leading you to some, either a union if you're in separation, or not expansion, what's the word I'm looking for? But a new phase of the relationship you're already in. So maybe you've been having like some tension there, and things are going to, you know, get to a new level. And again, for those of you where this is like work or friendships, like this is either finding a new job, finding new friends, or just attaining like a new level where you're at, but attaining it through clearing out whatever this stuff is, and holding your boundaries, and really like showing up in a different way, and through doing that, encouraging the people around you to show up in a different way. So I am going to pull one Work Your Light Oracle, and then we're going to do the Music Oracle, and then that'll be that, because I'm keeping these concise, right? So, Source, can you please give us messages from Mercury, not Mercury, can you please give us messages from Venus, retrograde, for Brain Tense Tarot Soul Family, January 2022. Can you please give one card? No, that's way too many. Please give one card. One card. There we go. So we have Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So I did mention previously I'm going to be doing a video for messages for starseeds and light workers, if that's something that you identify as or are interested in. But yeah, Pleiades, like, so a lot of you are being called to something higher. Like, that's why all these messages keep coming through of, like, you know, go within, tap into your inner knowing, tap into your intuition. If you're not sure how to get there, like, just start feeling around, just start exploring stuff. Like, you will be led to where you need to go, right? And as I said in the previous video, like, part of my whole reason for starting this channel is that if I, through tarot, if I can help connect other people to their own intuition, right? Because everyone has intuition, everyone has inner knowing, everyone has the ability to tap into energies, right? And so if I can do some bit of good by helping people to get more in touch with themselves and with the universe, then, you know, I feel like I'm doing some good on this planet. So yeah, some of you really, I mean, that's why you're being called to do this, because you really need to tap into that. And you know, it's terrifying because it might lead you down a completely different path than what you thought your life was going to be. And I've been there, and so I know. And as I've said, I have had to restart my entire life from scratch several times over. So I know how fucking scary it is. But sometimes you just have to take a risk, and sometimes you just, if you're being called, you have to answer the call, right? So, music oracle time. So I'm doing 2 songs since it's 2022. Source, can you please 2 songs for Venus retrograde 2022. Interesting. Okay. So Follow the Leader by Killing Joke. So I feel like, okay, and then we have Heavy by Powers. So very different messages, but kind of perfect for exactly what I was talking about, because to me, Follow the Leader is like, who are you following then, right? Are you following yourself? Are you following your own inner guidance? Are you following your own wisdom? Or are you following what you've been told? Are you allowing someone else's voice and someone else's opinions to infiltrate your own head, right? Talk to yourself in your own voice. I find oftentimes when we get caught up in self-doubt and negative self-talk, we're talking to ourselves through someone else's voice, right? We are regurgitating the bullshit and possibly abuse that other people have aimed at us, rather than, you know, listening to ourselves in our own voice, right? So to me, this is a reminder of like, don't do that. Cut that shit out, right? And then Heavy by Powers is just, that's just fucking fun. It's just lust and yeah, romance and all the good stuff that Venus can bring, right? So this is like a little reminder. I feel like, don't be, you know, and it's called Heavy, and I'm hearing really loud, like, it doesn't all have to be heavy, right? Like, I think people get intimidated thinking that if they start on this thing and they have to do all this inner work, then it's like everything's just going to be super heavy all the time and super serious, and like, Spirit isn't about that, right? Like, yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's fucking hard. You have to face your fears. You have to face a lot of like shit that maybe you have blocked out for a long time, right? But then when you start to get through that, that's where the lightness comes in. That's where the fun comes in. That's where you can, you know, you start to let a lot of shit go, and then that's where you start to actually feel light again and have that sense of wonder that I keep talking about. So yeah, and allow yourself again to like fall in love with life. Get horny for life. That's what, that's what I just heard. It's like allow yourself to feel lust for life, right? Allow yourself to feel that. So anyways, I hope this resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can email me at burningtimestarot@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm going to have links to the songs in the description and any other pertinent information there. And stay tuned, because I did a video for Mercury retrograde. I have one coming out for the Cancer full moon on the 17th, and the Lightworkers one, amongst others, so do stay tuned. Take care.